Just imagine spending hundreds of millions of dollars just to make a movie. Well, these days, that's a very common thing in Hollywood, as each year the budgets seem to get bigger and bigger. But hey, to win big, you've got to spend big. At least that's the way the studios seem to be operating. So today we break down the top 5 most expensive movies ever made. Number 5. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, 2007. When you think of Johnny Depp, who has played many characters over his career, one character stands out amongst them all: Captain Jack Sparrow. This third film in the Pirates franchise, featuring the rum-drinking pirate, reportedly had a budget of $300 million. Parts of this movie were filmed during the same time as Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. However, they spent an additional 70 days filming off the coast of California. The movie has a runtime of close to 3 hours and was one of the most expensive movies of the lot. At World's End did find box office success, making $961 million worldwide, but it didn't make more than the previous entry, Dead Man's Chest, which crossed the billion-dollar mark. However, its strong performance still made it the highest-grossing release of its year and kept the franchise going strong. Number 4. Avengers Infinity War, 2018. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is one of the strongest franchises around, so at least one of these films were guaranteed to make the list. In the beginning, Infinity War and Avengers Endgame were supposed to both be filmed at the same time, but it was later decided they would be filmed back-to-back due to the scope of the production required. The budget for Infinity War was a staggering $316 million. However, the large-scale production paid off as the Infinity War installment went on to make a little over $2 billion. That total still has it sitting at the 5th highest grossing movie of all time. So not only were the profits huge, but the reviews for the film were great, and the movie ended with a huge cliffhanger that would keep fans in anticipation for Endgame, which debuted a year later. Speaking of which, Number 3. Avengers Endgame 2019. If fans thought that Infinity War was a massive movie, then Avengers Endgame definitely took it up a notch. Its 3-hour running time allowed Marvel to produce a movie that took the story in all sorts of directions as the Avengers deal with the catastrophic events from Infinity War. The huge salaries of all these A-list actors, plus the over 3,000 special effects shots, sent the production budget through the roof. Also, there were extensive reshoots which included the now famous "I am Iron Man" scene, as well as the decision of Black Widow's fate. The combination of all these factors put the budget at a massive $356 million. Luckily, banking on a Marvel movie doing well at the box office is a safe bet, since Endgame went on to make $2.8 billion. This obviously smashed Infinity War's record, and also every other record, as Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time. Number 2. Avengers Age of Ultron, 2015. Surprise, surprise, we have another Marvel movie on the list. Although most people would probably guess Infinity War or Endgame as being the most expensive of the Marvel franchise, the highest production cost of this series is actually Age of Ultron. The highly anticipated sequel to 2012's The Avengers aimed to be bigger and bolder, so they inevitably included more heroes and villains as well as various filming locations around the world. Going bigger and bolder meant a bigger and bolder budget to the tune of a whopping $365 million. But yet, once again, Marvel netted a huge profit with the film grossing $1.4 billion worldwide. Number 1. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, 2011. At the time, Disney considered A World's End to be the big closer of the Pirates trilogy, which is why they spent so much money. So when they later decided to do a 4th installment, their plan was to have a budget that wouldn't break the bank as much as at The World's End. However, the production budget soon increased dramatically. They ended up paying Johnny Depp the ridiculous sum of $55.5 million to reprise the role of the famous Captain Jack Sparrow. And funny enough, due to extremely strong tides, the filming location had to be changed from Hawaii to California. Also, director Rob Marshall and his cinematographer decided to film the whole thing in 3D rather than do the conversion in post-production. These were some of the main factors that racked up the production budget to a record-setting $379 million. Even with inflation, it still holds the record for the most expensive Hollywood production ever. I guess it's a good thing for Disney's sake that the movie ended up making just over $1 billion. So there you have it, the top 5 most expensive movies ever made. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll have more great videos coming your way.